Here we go. Here we go. What's up, guys? I have never done a comparison for the Toyota Tacoma and the GMC Canyon, and we're gonna do a fuel economy run because both of these trucks have 4-cylinder turbocharged engines. I borrowed this Toyota from Carl Malone Toyota here in Draper, Utah. It is available. They have a bunch of inventory for Tacoma. Be sure to ask for Lex. And I borrowed this GMC Canyon from Jerry Seiner GMC here in South Jordan, Utah. Be sure to ask for Frank P. Let's go ahead and drive the GMC first, and then right after we'll drive the Tacoma and we'll switch back and forth between the two. So why should anyone buy the GMC Canyon over the Toyota Tacoma? The first thing you'll notice on the exterior is the wide body. I do like this design, and it comes standard. And obviously these 18-inch wheels come standard, more aggressive tires. Now, one thing I'll tell you is this: these things ride really well. I understand the hype with mid-size pickups. Most guys, they don't really tow a trailer or even own a trailer. So why would you buy a half-ton or even an HD truck to cruise around in? Like, this truck's gonna get you better fuel economy and, of course, has a better ride. Now, these 18-inch wheels, they look pretty good on this thing too. But I think the biggest issue with this truck is it just has one powertrain option. GM can go the distance with their trucks. Now, maybe not for this elevation trim level, but they could offer a V8 engine in this truck. I mean, they have the 5.3 liter, which is tried and true. It doesn't have a lot of horsepower and torque in today's standard when it comes down to the, you know, half-ton counterparts. So they could actually use that engine for this truck. But as far as visibility goes, I do like the mirrors, the placement of them as well. This seat is not powered, so you would have to move up in trim levels. Although there could be a package too. Sometimes GM gives you the coolest features as an option, but you gotta pay for it. Out the back window, you cannot get a power adjustable glass in the rear. A little bit of acceleration here. Pretty good. And this does have adaptive cruise control. It has lane keep assist, so it will steer you back into your lane, which is nice. So it has a lot of nice features. I believe this is an 11.3-inch display, no dual climate control, no heated seats. Let's jump over to that Tacoma real quickly. When you jump inside this Toyota Tacoma, it feels noticeably bigger. It also has a power seat, 14-inch display. This one has a sunroof, heated seats down below. It also has home link for your garage, auto dimming mirror, but it is significantly more money. That's the only negative. Now let's go ahead and pass, because I feel like can't pass because someone jumped over, but here we go. If you need to get over, it's a 4-cylinder. But you know, the 4-liter V6 wasn't that good either. So at these higher speeds, we're going 66 miles an hour. I mean, you're gonna run out of steam with the amount of horsepower that this thing has. But the other advantage of the Tacoma is it does have a power sliding rear glass, which is not even available on the highest trim levels of the Canyon. Has automatic up and down front and rear windows. Now I feel as though with the wind, this one is not as planted. Like, I can feel the wind kind of throwing this thing around a little bit more so compared to that GMC. I don't ever recall feeling the body roll. Now that GMC has the Goodyear ring of the tires. This has BFGoodrich tires. Depends on what you're looking for, right? I mean, you might like these better in terms of the style, but I think the GMCs have more aggressive tires for sure. But yeah, this does feel really nice. I love the fact that it has a telescoping steering wheel too. That's a big deal in a lot of cases, especially for these types of trucks, depending on how tall you are, right? So all in all, this is a good truck. It really is. I like how big the steering wheel is. It just feels more well thought out. They both have a lot of hard plastics on these trim levels too. But I think that the Tacoma just edges out the Canyon just a little bit for the interior. Back over to the GMC, you guys see, this is an 11-inch screen. Very easy to use. You only have one button here for it, which makes it so much easier to use. And they give you multiple menus. You have navigation over here. You have your off-road pages. I like the dark background too. That goes the distance here for sure. And if you care to see more or less information, they give that to you. So going 65 miles an hour, we're just a hair over 1500 RPMs. So we should be to the midpoint here in a second, but let's jump back over to that Tacoma real quickly. Here is where I think Toyota just loses for me. I hate their ergonomics of this gauge cluster. It's not hard to use, but it's a learning curve. Like, it took me like a long time to figure out how to reset the trip A for this test. Like, not even gonna lie. Now, it did take me a long time for the GMC too, but Toyota doesn't give you a lot of information. Like, if you look back at the GMC, they give you like a bunch of temperatures for like the oil, things like that, in this main screen. But Toyota just gives you a bunch of gauges to look at, and they're not really easy to read or understand, in my opinion. So here they are right there. Not that great. Now we're going about 69. Let's drop down just a hair. I want you guys to see this too runs at about just over 1500 RPMs. Very similar on that for both of these. Now this engine is port and direct injection, which is a nice advantage over just a direct injection for that Canyon. Here are the numbers on the door for the GMC Canyon. Gross fuel economy rating is 6,250. All-in payload is going to be 1,606 pounds, and tire pressure is 35 psi all the way around. Here are the numbers on the door for the Tacoma. Gross fuel economy rating is going to be 6,240 pounds, and payload is 1,200 minus 18, which is 1,182 pounds for this truck. So here's what we got here. The only thing I don't like about the lane keep assist, when you are getting off the interstate, sometimes you don't necessarily have to use your turn signal, especially in that scenario, but that will beep at you if you don't. So you have to get used to using your turn signals for sure. But at the midpoint with the Canyon, we are at 22.6 MPG. Now we're going to do the 0 to 60 here, so that's going to hurt fuel economy a little bit. So let's go ahead and set up for that. Just made it to the midpoint with the Tacoma, and no shocker here, guys. I mean, these trucks have 4-cylinder turbos. They should get good gas miles. We haven't made it to a complete stop yet, but here's the stop right here. Okay, 22.4. Not bad. Now let's go ahead and check out that acceleration for both trucks. So the GMC does have this 2.7 liter inline 4 turbocharged engine, dual overhead cam, by the way. It's going to have 310 horsepower, 430 pound-feet of torque. All that power does go through a 8-speed transmission. I was going to say 10, but 8-speed transmission. Has a 342 rear, and believe it or not, this does have active fuel management, so it will drop down cylinders for fuel economy, which is kind of crazy for a 4-cylinder. Let's see how it accelerates. Here we go.
30. 60.
Here's Toyota's 2.4 liter inline 4 turbocharged engine. Good for 278 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. All that power does go through an 8-speed transmission, and this does have a 358 rear. Let's see how it accelerates. Here we go.
30. 60.
62, 63. At 68 miles an hour. This is measuring the sound, so it's pretty quiet, I would say. It's a little windy today. It's 92 degrees. There's AC in this truck. Where are we at actually? Oh yeah, it's that max cold there. It's pretty comfortable in this truck though, for sure. I'm sure you guys can see it. If you can't see it, it's a little bit louder. It's at 63 consistently. It was like 61, 62. It was bouncing back and forth between, but the wind noise is definitely more apparent in this one. What'd you guys think about that 0 to 60? Interesting, isn't it? The Tacoma was behind the entire time, but it felt like it left the pocket a lot quicker. Now, I didn't brake boost it. I'm not running anything in full drive, anything like that, because these trucks are brand new. But it felt like the Tacoma was ahead for a little bit, but nope. That GMC walked it for sure. Just pulled back in with the GMC. We're at 11.5 miles, 19.8 MPG. Let's see what it is for the Tacoma. Here it is for the Toyota Tacoma, 11.3, 20.8 MPG. Thoughts on that? I know that was a short run, but I try to do these tests back to back very quickly. That way they're apples to apples. I pretty much stopped at the same lights that I went through basically too, which is nice, but who won this? Because the GMC was faster, however the Toyota Tacoma returned better fuel economy. If I had to buy one of these trucks today, it would probably be the Toyota Tacoma, just simply because of the interior. I think the interior was the game changer here. However, this GMC Canyon has more horsepower and torque, and you guys see right here, it's significantly less expensive. The Tacoma does have a $5,000 package, plus that moonroof was a standalone option too, and it's $52,814. So in the grand scheme of things, guys, I don't know. I think that for pricing, the GMC does win this thing, because a lot of the things that I called out on this truck was an option. But here's the last thing I'll say. You do have 2 engine options available for the Tacoma, and that hybrid could actually get slightly better fuel economy on the highway compared to this regular just 2.4 liter turbocharged engine. And you do have a larger bed option, which is not available for the GMC Canyon, so that could throw a curveball at some people. But like I said, I like the overall styling of the exterior better on the GMC. However, the interior does go to the Toyota Tacoma. It does feel a little bit bigger, and I think that for the seat size, I don't know if you guys even noticed it. Let's see real quickly. Last thing I'll show you, and then we'll end the video. The seat size really got me on the Canyon. You see how small these seats look? And for this one, they're pretty big seats, and they really do hug you. Look at the bowstring, look at the bottom seat cushion. This is definitely a more comfortable truck. But I hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you would like for me to do a comparison in the future with the Max, I could do that at a later date. Just let me know in the comment section. See you guys soon.